Hi Education Methods. Today I'm presenting my 4660E final curriculum project. So my target audience for this project are adults with type 2 diabetes and also pre-diabetes. We aim to provide diabetes prevention for adults with pre-diabetes and diabetes maintenance for adults with type 2 diabetes. A brief overview of the health and nutrition issues for this audience. Based on the literature review, we saw that adults with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes have a prime need for nutrition intervention because they often struggle with weight, dietary change, insulin resistance, and high blood sugar levels. Type 2 diabetes is not reversible, but prediabetes is, which is why we want to focus on diabetes prevention for them. Across all 3 studies reviewed, participants improved weight, glycemic control, and metabolic markers when success depended heavily on structured monitoring and support. So based on the needs assessment, I wanted to decide what weight loss procedures were successful for adults with type 2 diabetes. And when I interviewed my 3 interviewees, they all said that getting exercise is a challenge, especially for the ones who have children. But even the one without children said it was tough just because of work and life. All of that gets in the way. If they needed insulin, staying on top of that helps them absolutely the most. But they also noticed that diet and exercise can help as well. One of them noted that their family didn't understand their new exercise or diet routine and liked to make it about them when it wasn't. So that added just like a mental toughness to the new intervention. And then all 3 of them said that they needed to increase their motivation and discipline to work on working out more consistently. Sorry, I have a cold at the moment. Theoretical model, I chose the health belief theory. This theory aligns most closely with the psychological and practical challenges adults face when managing or preventing diabetes, particularly around risk perception, motivation, and confidence and behavior change. This theory also includes several core constructs that explain why individuals choose to engage or not engage in health behaviors. So the overall goal of this curriculum was to improve foundational knowledge of foods, portion sizes, and how meal timing affects blood glucose levels in adults with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Learners will also apply their knowledge to their own life through the provided activities, which we will get into now. So for this learning activity number 1, I have a personal glucose web diagram where learners will create a personalized glucose web diagram with themselves at the center and add spokes for all 5 domains: food, activity, stress, sleep, and medication. On each spoke, you'll add sticky notes describing your own habits, and draw arrows showing how one habit influences the other. For example, how poor sleep leads to more cravings, how exercise leads to lower stress. And then we'll finish by identifying 2 high-impact connections that they want to improve. Learners will then complete a glucose integration checklist, evaluating their final glucose web diagram, making sure they have identified all 5 domains, demonstrated at least 3 interactions between domains, and explained how these interactions influence glucose trends, identified at least 2 realistic improvements, and rated confidence. Learning activity 2. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Sorry. My throat is not doing very well right now. So for learning activity 2, I came up with a 1-change commitment card. We have learners will create a personalized commitment card that includes 1 behavior they choose, why it matters to them, when and how they will start, and 1 support/reminder they use. Then they'll decorate the card and take a photo of it or keep it for accountability. This is related to the first learning activity 1 because they can use the change that they identified from learning activity 1 and take it to learning activity 2. So after they do that, they'll complete a commitment confidence check, which will be 5 minutes, rating the following questions: how confident they feel about their chosen behavior, 1 to 5 scale, 1 being not confident and 5 being confident; how meaningful the behavior feels to them, can they explain why they chose it, can they identify at least 1 strategy to support it, and whether their motivation increased compared to the pre-assessment. For learning activities 3 and 4, to the left, I have 2 screenshots from my social media posts on my nutrition Instagram page, which is called Banana Bread 4. My name's Anna, so I thought it was cute. I use this page to promote nutrition education towards adults with type 2 diabetes. Posts include information like how to build a balanced plate, healthy food swaps, 10 minutes after meals food tips, and the connection between stress and blood sugar. There's a lot that goes into it, but like the 10 minutes after meals food tips, I just give tips on, if you should take a walk after you eat, what you're eating, how that impacts how you're going to feel after you eat, that kind of stuff. Sorry. For the logic model, this model goes through activities, processes, measures, short, intermediate, and long-term outcomes. It's important to look at participant engagement and program effectiveness throughout the process to ensure that goals and objectives are being met. So I just have screenshots of all 3 components, or all 3 parts of the logic model. Okay, so going over the budget now, I have some screenshots of it much more in depth here up on the left, but to do a brief summary, the location is $600, personnel will be $2,330, supplies will be $825, equipment will be $1,925, travel will be $260, incentives will be $1,000 with $50. Excuse me. Other direct costs will be $770, and then the total program cost is $7,760. Here are all of my references, and that's my presentation. Have a great day.